Alright, this video will be about a person who feels they're in a twin flames relationship and it's not going quite well. I think they are living together. It's not going quite well. And she said it's almost or has gotten physical. So what we're going to do in this video is we're going to take it nice and slow. You see the person's natal chart. We will be updating that as well. We're going to go over that. In any situation, especially something as problematic as a twin flame situation, you have to go to the experts. I've been suggesting to people on my channel, Real Life and Metaphysics, a person who has done, I believe she calls herself DNA Awakening. So you first go to the experts because you're not going to succeed at something you don't understand and don't know about. So that's the first thing. You have to become a student. So again, she's called DNA Space Awakening. The title of the video is Full Understanding of Twin Flame Connections, or Full Understanding of Twin Flames. I'll get the precise title in a moment. Full understanding of the true purpose. Let me see. Yeah, twin flames. True understanding of the true purpose and energetic dynamics. She did a great job on explaining it. And it's right on my channel as well. So if you go to Real Life and Metaphysics, you'll see me telling you you should listen to that video. And I just gave you it as well. So the first mistake will be made is if you're not listening to experts. She tells you immediately this has nothing to do with love, meeting the person you're going to be with forever. So you have to accept it. And I was learning like everybody else, to be honest with you. But she really helped me kind of like put the nail in the coffin. So that's the first thing we have to realize. This isn't about love. So it's not about, oh, you're supposed to be my twin flame. Oh, we should be together. Oh, let's move in. Because I know a lot of people have done that. And it didn't really go as well. So what we really have to learn is what it's really about. What is this whole twin flame about? And unfortunately, most people will continue to think with their heart. And they're going to continue to suffer pain. And it could be emotional, financial, if you start doing stuff with the person and then it breaks up and money involved, or like in this case, it may even go physical. So you have to learn why. And that's why I encourage everybody who hears this video to make sure you listen to that woman. She explains it totally. Essentially, it is supposed to hurt. You will wonder why this person is going out of their way to hurt you. It seems like she explains all the reasons why in that video as well. And again, nobody wants to feel pain. Nobody wants to be hurt. But again, this is from the universe and it's going to happen regardless. So we have to think. We have to get a better control of ourselves. Because it's easy to keep blaming the twin. And she said the more you blame the twin, the more you think negative, the more it gets worse, or the more the separation occurs. So essentially, you have to slow down and work on yourself. And you shouldn't be quick to try to run into the union with the person. Because that person has got to slow down too. This whole thing is about submission more than anything. And not every relationship where a person comes into your life, not every relationship is really about twin flame and meeting and being together. I just did a video on my channel, Real Life and Metaphysics. It's called New Moon Love Connections, April 26, 2017. Metaphysical News. The date of it is April 25th, 2017, because we have a new moon in Taurus tomorrow around 8:16 a.m. And there, I read an article from Gostica.com that told you what a twin flame relationship is, a karmic relationship is, and a soul relationship is. And right away, people say, well, it's very confusing, and that's why I don't have anything to do with this, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, I can't even argue with you. But I know it might not go away just because you say that. But it is very difficult, and you really have to, to be honest, you have to have some maturity within yourself. And a lot of people don't. I've always said that, and that's why a lot of people don't like me. But you grow up to become not just big physically or whatever. You grow up to emotionally become more mature. And most people don't. So that's why this is going to be very difficult. Because you're going to stand your ego, you're going to stand your emotions, and you're going to want to fight when the universe is saying this is to make you submit. And that's what it's about. That's what it's about. Whether you like it or not, this is being sent into your life so that you can submit. And they used to say when I was a kid, it takes two to fight or two to argue, two to tango. But we don't have to return just because somebody says it does something. And once you understand how dynamic this situation is, it might not be too wise to move in with that person or have that person move in with you unless both of you have gotten to the point that you both have submitted. You have to get rid of ego. The ego has got to be done away with, which means you're not going to be catching an attitude, not going to have something smart to say when somebody says something to you, or not going to be looking for an argument or a fight. And all those emotions are prevalent in third dimensional thinking. So I just gave you the answers from the universe. I gave you my reference, DNA Awakening, Twin Flames, Understanding the True Purpose and Energetic Dynamics. So at that point, a person can just make a choice to work with the universe, or they can continue in third dimensional actions and behavior. And again, there's nothing else I could do after that. But what we are going to do is we're going to update this chart, and then we're going to compare, find at least one or two experts to see what is in the horoscopes for this person at this time according to their astrological sign. So first house, and we're all looking at the same chart, is Libra and Venus. And Venus rules Libra. And ironically, Venus is doing a lot of things in the universe right now with the new moon. But it's also having a lot to do with unconditional love with the new moon, forgiveness. And that's what Venus is about: love, beauty, diplomacy. And it's funny that Venus is at 6 degrees in a new, with this Taurus moon. Give me one moment, because I think if I could find it quickly, I will. But I can't guarantee that I will find it quickly, because we just did that moon on my other channel. Space 426, new moon. I have it. So we're going to be putting, we'll probably put both of these charts together. So you're going to see two charts. You're probably already looking at it, but I'm going to be making that up now or around this time. You're looking at her chart. I'll probably put it to the left. Or we'll put the new moon chart to the left, and we'll put her chart to the right. So that way you'll see the new moon is tomorrow morning at 8:16 a.m. And you see Venus. Well, it's not Venus, is at 9 degrees, but Chiron is at 6 degrees. with Pisces, which is unconditional love. And Neptune will make it idealistic in your dreams. See, most people say, well, this is how love should be. And again, I'm no one's enemy. I totally understand who wouldn't want to be in love and who wouldn't want to be, but there are going to be challenges. And in that article I did, that I told you to go to, that I just did on Real Life, they made sure they told you in any relationship, whether it's a soul relationship, a karmic relationship, or a twin flame relationship, there are going to be challenges, which again, you're going to have maturity. And that's why Venus is trying to work things out if she can. Pisces and Venus is unconditional love, and that's what you're looking at. And it happens to be in the 10th house of careers, which is interesting. I'm looking at the new moon chart on the left. But let us continue with this update. So that's all about relationship and love. Each point and ascendant is all about really sun energy. So this person has a lot of energy for love and relationships, but ironically, it takes you into Pluto and Scorpio in the 2nd house, and Saturn. So Saturn can mean a karmic situation. Saturn can also mean discipline. So see, this is the hard part. Whenever you see Pluto or Scorpio, you already know you're going to be in for some possible dysfunctions. A lot of this is, like I said, Saturn, karma, and dysfunctions. But see, Saturn rules Capricorn, and Capricorn rules the 10th house. So what's going on in the universe right now is affecting her. And that's why I see a lot of people, they'll contact me. And once we get the charts together, we can see that they contacted me basically because of the universe, their connection to the universe. So she's going to have a lot of 8th house concerns. She may even have some money issues, because if you notice in her 8th house, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, it's Taurus. And then you see the true node is very close. Interesting. So she'll be having some financial concerns. They may be good though. They may be bad. It's always going to be finances involved with these type of unions. So if you ask me about her relationship, I could tell you just by looking at her 1st house with Pluto, Libra, and Venus, and then in her 2nd house with Scorpio. I would tell her already she's probably going to have some trials, some issues, because this is some 8th house soul matters, and also it's going to affect her finances. Not necessarily in a bad way. It might actually be in a good way, but she's definitely going to have emotional issues. Moving to the 3rd house of communication, you have Sagittarius there, which rules the 9th house. And in her 9th house, you have Gemini, which is the twins and communications, and Chiron for healing. Now, the good news is she really could be a healer. That's why once we get outside of our egos, we get outside of our egos, we learn we don't have to retaliate. We don't have to say something smart just because somebody did something and said something we don't like. We don't have to do that. We choose to do that. We let our emotions get the best of us. And of course, it's going to make a situation escalate. And I've said this before. I've said that to this person before. So again, it's a case where a person wants to grow up, or they want to stay in that 3rd dimensional Pluto, Scorpio drama, or Aries drama, because Aries is the 1st house, rules the 1st house. So now the 3rd house, communication, is also travel. The 3rd house is a lot like the 5th house. So you know she has Neptune retrograde, and that could mean a lot of things. Neptune usually deals with your dreams, or you're an idealistic person. Neptune deals with Pisces, which makes Pisces very spiritual. But the Neptune is retrograde, so that could be can also mean that this person is like a realist, like they're not an idealist. And see, that wouldn't necessarily be a great combination, because you have Neptune and Neptune retrograde, and then you have Mars, and Mars is known for usually some type of combat or some type of struggle. And Uranus means anything can happen, but Uranus can also mean travel. So this person may be a traveler, or they may talk a lot about traveling, or about, because Sagittarius rules the ninth house about foreign things, foreign travel, foreign matters, foreign language, philosophy. So this person may even be able to speak more than one language. We move into the fourth house, which is family, and I always tell people to check out Santos, or look on any of my channels, Archangel Revelations and Prophecies 444, or Real Life and Metaphysics, because I know I just did a new video about I think I said Cancer or Capricorn, because whenever you see a unique Cancer and Capricorn relationship, which you do here, then you're talking about people that, as Santos says, they're more than just humans. And again, that could be another reason why you have you're not gonna take any nonsense, because your subconscious remembers who you are and things like that. So that could be another reason why there's a lot of struggle. But again, they basically say that people chose to come here, so they chose the circumstances that they're in. See, these are things that just require a deeper research, and a person would have to really want to research it, and they may not. And some people are just not good with studying it. Like stuff like that I offer as a service, because that's time consuming. That could be really time consuming, and you got to get all that information, and then you have to break it down to a person can understand it. So that I would offer as a service. But again, you see money again. So this person has no problems with money. But just saying, I'm just being honest. Sometimes that's what the problem is, because people have money and they're just used to doing what they want when they wanna. Like you know people that have money, they'll get into an argument and they'll destroy stuff because they don't really care, because they can afford to have it fixed. So sometimes money kind of is like a net that people had that they could fall back on no matter what. But this person won't have any problems with money. And again, this fourth house is also higher education and educate. So she's probably been some type of educator or teacher, because it just seems to keep coming up. It's also your mother and how your mother influenced you as she was bringing you up when you were young. That's your I Mum Coeli in your subconscious mind. It's also land and property, vehicles, and travel. So this person again probably has traveled. So again, if you have a person that's well traveled with money and things like that, it's going to be hard for that person to be humble. And when you start talking about Capricorn and Cancer, and Cancer and Capricorn, that means this person may have come from somewhere else. They may not have been born of human lineage, as Santos teaches. So that kind of explains what's going on in this person's subconscious and emotions. And again, the moon rules Cancer in the fourth house, and the moon also deals with emotions. But now their emotions is in Aquarius and Leo. So once again, Leo's about traveling and fun. And so the moon makes them emotional or feminine and nurturing, but they do want to help. Like they do want to really teach. They want to help people, because that's what Aquarius usually does. So that's a part of fortune in Aquarius. But that's, in my opinion, part of fortune in Aquarius is pretty self-explanatory. Let's do part of fortune in the fifth house, and we'll do part of fortune in the moon. And since we are going to open up the document, we'll do part of fortune with Aquarius. But give me a moment. We want to make sure it is in the fifth house. Okay. So first we're going to do part of fortune in the 5th house. They're very creative, very emotional, energies overflowing. And see, that's not always a good thing. Nothing wrong with emotions, but if you're going to react, see, twin flame, you can't. You have to get it. Like, if you're going to be overreacting, emotions overflowing with some energies as powerful as twin flames, it's unwise to be living with that person. Because you can cause a situation. Not saying it's how you react. Like what I'm trying to say, just because somebody says something to you doesn't mean you have to respond. Because when you respond, you're giving them more fire, and things could get really, especially when you're dealing with the moon. Because the moon already makes people act wild. Like we got the new moon coming down, so that's a lot of energy. So you may not, if neither one of you can control your third dimensional responses, it's not wise to live together, because that could be somebody getting physically hurt or worse. So the part of fortune in the 5th house is a person who has to be very creative or artistic. And that's going to go right in line with a part of fortune in Aquarius. Now, because your moon is conjunct your part of fortune. Any planet that conjuncts a part of fortune will yield an increase in the potency of that planet. So you're going to be very emotional and very motherly. And those are the type of women that you will see having a man living with them and stuff like that. Like the man will be living with them because they're nurturing and they're motherly. Moon in a part of fortune. If a person is born in sunrise, the part of fortune will be conjunct the moon. So let's look where your moon is. Pretty much conjunct. Your moon is pretty much so. They're saying you were born near sunrise, and I think you did say around 9 a.m. ish, which would still kind of be, because you got six. I'm gonna try to do it like I can only go old school with this, but before the sun was considered rising around 6 o'clock. It's not always the case now, but I'm going way back with it. And then 9 a.m. is still considered early morning. If you want to say mid morning, whatever you want to say, but. So this person is going to be emotional, nurturing, the emotional nature, nurturing nature, security themes, or public life will be an avenue of achieving part of fortune happiness. And like we already said, the public life, the Capricorn, the Cancer, your 10th house, Capricorn in your 4th house. So you really got that motherly. But it's all good for being like a type of teacher or something. All right, now we want to do part of fortune in the 5th house. Or we'll do part of fortune in Aquarius. Idealistic, innovative, and unique. The person will, with the part of fortune in Aquarius, will find their happiness and success by making contribution or inventions that is beneficial to all. Just like I said. Now, if you notice your Neptune, which says you should be idealistic, but in your family set, well, it's in your communication sector. 1, 2, 3. It's retrograde. So that's interesting. So I will remember that, and if I see a reason for that, I'll state it. But if I don't see a reason for it, the biggest reason I would say, because it's real close to your 4th house. Even though your 4th house doesn't look bad at all, but to me it would be something associated with that 4th house, which would kind of make you into a realist. Even though your Neptune is in your 3rd house, but it's so close to your 4th house That's why I would say that. But you do have a Mars in your yeah. So it is something with communications, but I'm still saying fourth house. Fourth house, third house, because you got Mars, which is kind of like a struggle, and that kind of makes you more realistic. Like, you were idealistic, but you've been through so much. Your Neptune is retrograde, which means you're not as ideal. Because Neptune is idealistic. They even call Neptune a deceiver. Because Neptune believes in stuff so much that it deceives. But you've learned to become realistic, basically, probably because the fourth house matters and communications, I guess, with other people. And just your Uranus causes strange things to happen and stuff. All right. We have one more, part of fortune in the fifth house. I think we already did it. All right, we did. Your sixth house, you have Pisces there, the spiritual sign, but your fifth house is about health, home, service, duties, and even people you work with. You have Lilith there. And Pallas is retrograde, so you're dealing with past life issues. But Pallas helps you see patterns. Pallas kind of helps you. So let's look at Lilith and Pisces and see what it says. Alrighty. I found a good one, and then when I pressed the link for it to open up, now it blocked it. They won't let me in. So I got to look again. I'll be back. Alright, so we have it. Another website with the same information. I use my search command. But give me a moment. I have to look it up. We're looking for Lilith and Pisces. And I'm on astrologyinaction.com. astrologyinaction.com/Lilith. Lilith in Pisces is secretive and suffers from martyrdom. Okay, so those are not traits you would want in a relationship, because relationship, you really can't be secretive, and you can't go around suffering from martyrdom. Now, I'm not attacking this person. I'm just saying these are things you have to know. Like I said, I did the twin flame thing, and I couldn't really deal with it no more, because you had a lot of people very immature that were trying to deal with something that you have to have maturity. The whole twin flame thing has nothing. She'll tell you. That's why I said you don't have to blame Gary. Listen to the expert. She said it has nothing to do with love, has nothing to do with that. This is the universe coming your way to push you somewhere that, according to your life plan, you have to go, whether you want to go or not. And the more you resist it, or jumping into situations that you're not ready for, the more pain you're going to feel. It's not until you submit and surrender. And you can't worry about what the other person is doing. But again, that's why that living together may not be the wisest thing. Because you're trying, like, say you do have a person who's really trying to submit. But just because you're trying to submit to the universe doesn't mean that person is. And you got that person living in your house. So these are things you just have to think about. So they call this Lilith in Pisces a perpetual victim, exploiting the sympathy of others to her own delight. Lilith here suffers from subconscious ailments and mental illness. She hides her wounds, as its placement denotes sexual abuse and trauma during early childhood. And again, we're sorry that these things happen, but what I'm saying is before you can try to have a relationship with somebody else, you have to deal with whatever you got going on. You could be psychological, it could be spiritual healing. You could really get deep into all this. There's all type of healing that they show you out here on YouTube. There's always the heal, but you have to heal before you can move on. Because there's always, especially if you have Lilith and Pisces, you're always going to feel like a victim. So you're always going to blame the other person. And the expert said that's what you can't do in a twin flame relationship. You can't blame your twin. You have to take responsibility and do something about it. Now, for a Lilith in Pisces, sexual inhibition and confusion is likely. She ties herself into dreads of society, allowing herself to be demeaned and used to satisfy the lower basic instincts of humankind. Temptation lies in her power to hypnotize and create the perfect sexual fantasy. She fills a lover's cup with her most desired poison. As a mother, she is prone to drug use and insanity. She neglects her children's day-to-day needs. As a lover, she is secretive and promiscuous. And again, and it's kind of funny because I got that same type of vibe off of my twin. I mean, to the point she scared me because I have real good intuition. But like, just looking at her, me just kind of just scared the hell out of me. Just how she was, very quiet, very secretive, and she played different people, like different. She had about 7 different personalities. Like, that chick was terrifying. So they said a person that has Lilith and Pisces is capable of many secret affairs. And anybody that hears this, that's my point. It just takes a little maturity. You have to be honest with yourself. If you've been through, you hear me come out here, I'm very honest about physical abuse, crazy family. You got to be very honest with yourself, because you're depriving yourself of a good life based on something some idiot did in the past. I was never gonna let my father get away with fucking my life up. Never. He was never gonna make me a victim. That's why it's been decades, and I still talk very defiantly, because the idea of somebody thinking they're gonna make me do something I don't want to do ain't happening. So you have to get the healing. You have to get the help, and that's got to be more important than anything else. And it ties in with self-esteem as well. And this whole twin flame thing is about healing, and you're not going to heal if you're living with that person. That's bottom line. You have to get away. You have to heal and get your mind together, get goals together, what you really want to do with your life. Life can't be you just waking up and going through life. You've got to this is what the twin flame does. It makes you become proactive. It makes you say, I don't want this. I got to do something about this. So even though your twin is hurting you, they're helping you. Like my twin, because of my twin, I was very successful in a lot of different ways. I understand metaphysics very well. And even though the majority of people run from me because they want to be scared little babies, they want to be cowards, they don't want to deal with it, they'll just run to a channel that lies, don't blow smoke up their ass and takes their money. But that's what they want. They don't want the truth. They don't want to change. And what happens in a case like that, you'll be out of your money and you still won't be with your twin, because this is all about submission. This is all about seeing what the universe is showing you on your natal chart. And I think that woman that I directed you to, I think I heard her say natal chart. I think it's about knowing yourself from your natal chart, for like the updates you get, and then doing something about it. And the good news is you can do something about it. That's why I said a guy like me, don't just listen to me and get upset when I'm saying something that seems, oh wow, that sounds a little harsh. Listen to the whole thing. Grow up. Get the help you need and move on with your life. Because otherwise, like I said, it'll be 5 and 7. And in this case, when you're dealing with Lilith and the stuff she's doing, it could be. She already said it's getting physical. So you may not even get that opportunity to make and your life can get better. Anybody's life can get better. It's just a case of maturity, falling back and connecting to that healing. What's ever going to help you heal? Because if you get away from a relationship for 3 or 4 months, but at the end of your healing, you're way better. Now you'll be better for a relationship. It's worth it. Some people, where's my twin? What about my twin? I don't want to be lonely. All this third dimensional fear is so immature. It's so basic. You have to raise above that. The greater good, especially for yourself. But when you get the greater good for yourself, at some point you'll be able to share that with somebody else, because now you're mature enough. You better understand yourself. Now you can better walk with that person through a relationship. Whereas now it's like, it's very dramatic, very dynamic. You can barely even take it. And you're looking for a way out. You don't know how many emails I get where a person's yelling help. And remember, this is in your healing house. So the universe is actually trying to heal you. With Pisces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's in your healing house of home, health, which can be psychological help as well. Health. Healing. It could also be other health problems or psychological problems. Any type of healing, emotional healing. And then the good news is, well, you have Aries in your relationship sector with Vertex Cross. Vertex Cross means you will probably meet someone in Aries, or Aries personality. But you see what they're doing to you. That is still a person you would be in a relationship with. Because in your first house, which is ruled by Aries, you have Libra, which rules the 7th house. So they're basically showing you that you're going to have this dynamic connection with this person. But that Aries energy has got to be humbled. The number 33, I've been seeing that number 27 a lot. But the number 33 is when you use knowledge like this to help get yourself healed. Number 33 in natal chart numerology is that what is knowledge that's not known by everybody, but it'll help heal you if you use it and really apply it. And that's what you're getting today. Now give me one moment. I'm going to look up. All right, now what I'm looking up is the number 27. Unification of duality, see? So it is in your chart for unification. But you're going to have to do what I just got finished telling you. And that unification will only come by 33. That's that knowledge that's going to help you with your twin soul union. All right. Now it takes you into the 8th house, which is that house twin souls, other people's money, past lives, sex, animalism, mysticism, esoteric information, mystery, secrets, maybe even enemies. If I didn't say animals, powerful change, transformation. And if you notice, your true north node is also very close to that house, even though it's in the 9th house. And this Taurus can be good love. Taurus can mean love, but Taurus can also mean strength. Stubbornness, Taurus can also mean your 2nd house of money, which if you notice, they got your 2nd house and which is ruled by Taurus working with Scorpio. Your 8th house ruled by Scorpio is 8th house is ruled by Scorpio. So your money, everything is tied up in that whole thing. And you got your true north node very close with Chiron healing and the 9th house of higher consciousness, or even foreign travel, foreign things. Gemini, which is the twins, and they do it again. Then they have Sagittarius. So you have if you understand, you have a very wonderful natal chart, and it's all of it is implying that you're higher than just somebody that was born from humans. And that's why you told me you had a lot of stuff, unique things happen in your life, but that would explain why. But at this particular point in your life, you have got to learn, if you're going to talk about twin flame union, you have to submit. You have to let go of the ego. And you two can't be living together right now because there's too much dynamic energy. You're not submitting because you're talking back. And I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm not saying you're right or wrong. What I'm saying is, if that's going to escalate it, then it's kind of foolish to do it anyway. But I've been around women my whole life, and y'all tend to like to push them buttons. And sometimes it's smart if you don't. I mean, believe me, I understand the whole attitude and all that stuff being a female. But sometimes y'all push that button when it don't need to be pushed. And that's why a lot of y'all get knocked out Some of y'all get choked out, and it's just the truth. And I'm sorry, I'm sorry if you don't like me telling you the truth, but I'm still gonna do it. But I'm smart enough to know when to keep my fucking mouth shut. There's been a lot of times I wanted to say something, and you can tell I got a big mouth, but you got to learn when to keep that mouth shut, because you're not gonna win if some guy is so angry he's not thinking clearly. He's still wrong for what he did, but he'll still do it. That's what you got to remember. There's another day to talk cute and talk everything, but some days it's best to keep your mouth shut. And you definitely don't need to be around anybody or living around anybody who doesn't have control of his emotions, that he would get so that he would make it go physical, because he needs help as well. So now in your 10th house of career, you have Cancer, which is really the family sign, or the education sign, which is why I said she's probably some type of teacher or something. Land and property sign, travel sign, family sign, and this. So you have a mixture of Capricorn, which is ruled by Saturn, which you see in your 2nd house, and Cancer, which is ruled by the moon. So you probably do have some karma or karmic relationships going on there. 11th house is Leo. You have a very unique 11th. Yeah, that is the 11th house. You have a very unique 11th and 12th house because they're all so close together. And see, your sun sign is Virgo, so they want you to heal. They're trying to get you to heal, but you got to listen. Now you have Vesta in your 11th and 12th house. Vesta is, and you have 2 zeros, which means starting points, and you also have 22, which is the twin flame number. So they want you to heal. Vesta is fire. Fire in your home, fire, the furnace, the heater is Vesta. And ironically, the Mayans say that Venus, they say planet Venus used to come down their chimney, and they were scared. This is what they teach us. They were scared of planet Venus. So, but that's Vesta. Vesta is your furnace. She's your furnace and your heater. And when they be talking about Santa Claus coming down your chimney, they're actually talking about Venus. Look into it. And then you have Juno for a real relationship. The 11th house is friends and families and friends and groups and associations. But with Leo there, it's also travel and maybe fun and children and romance. So you see that in your Juno is attracted to that. Your Juno says you may end up in a relationship like that with a Leo, or a very romantic relationship. And Vesta is very fiery, like they even say twin flame, passionate. And then Mercury retrograde means these houses have something to do with your past life. But it can also stand for communication problems. So again, you have to make a mental note of that. So when you're having communications, you have to learn how to talk in such a way that the person doesn't get offended. And you say, "Oh, did you understand what I was saying? I wasn't sure I was clear." You got to learn how to talk so that there's not a communication thing. And sometimes, like, people don't sign contracts when it's a Mercury retrograde, or things like that. You got to be very careful when you have a Mercury retrograde, because it's implying you're going to have delays, things not working the way they should, or people not understanding you. Like, you might even say something very nice, but it may be taken. So you got to really be aware of these things. But the point is, you can get through it. That's why I said people don't get it. Instead of worrying about where my twin is, why my twin, you're running all over the internet, you're going anywhere, you're spending money and still not getting answers. Get your natal chart, learn it, study it. The same way if you wanted to be, oh, I want to be a great piano player. Well, you got to learn the chords, you got to learn the notes, you got to learn. And it's funny to me how people on this planet don't value relationships. That's why you got so many divorces, so many people cheating on each other, leaving each other. But you'll value something like a cruise, or you'll value drugs or alcohol or dancing or other stuff that's really not as important as a relationship. And that's why these people are running all over thinking they're going to get a quick fix. You are not going to get a quick fix to any type of twin flames relationship, or if you have a relationship like a karmic relationship where that person was sent to really hurt you. You got to learn why that's happening. You have to submit to the universe. So that does cover your natal chart, your updated natal chart. What we're going to do now, Who do I want to go to? I want to go to Michelle Knight in Britain because she's pretty good. And see what she says. So give me a moment. It may get a little quiet, but that's because I'm typing these things up on the net. Give me a moment. It's taking her page. It takes a while to load. All right. Let me type in Lynn Coiner. And again, another thing people should be doing on channels like this one. I have two channels: Archangel Revelations and Prophecies 444. I have Real Life and Metaphysics. I also have a lot of information in the description boxes. It's like if you really loved investing, and I was always giving great information on investing, you would spend a lot more time on my channel. That's my point. Whatever you really care about, there's your time and your heart. So you can't complain, oh, my twin flame relationship sucks and why is this and that, because you're not putting, and I'm talking to everybody. You got to really put it if you really want it. And if you feel like it's too much, then that's fine too. But what the universe is asking you to do is make a mature stand, not based on emotions, but something you thought out, coming to reasons as to why you're doing whatever you're doing, whatever decision you're making. Now, what I'm trying to do is find Lena Coiner, General Esoteric, Retrograde 20. See, I don't know if she does. I don't know if she does like horoscopes, or if she does, she may not do it here. Like, I really don't know. Home General Astrology, blah 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 blah. So what I'm going to try to do, one more time, I say Lynn Coiner horoscope. Lynn Coiner horoscope. See what happens. I think we have it. But let's go to Michelle Knight in Britain. Virgo. When Mercury retrograde, notice how I was just talking about Mercury retrograde. When Mercury retrograded back into your financial sector 4 days ago, it was the retraced steps he'd made just over 3 weeks earlier. This includes moving back into the same alliances, this time with a smart head for money coming with 2020 hindsight. It was late last month that Mercury teamed up with Saturn. Remember, I was just talking about Saturn in your chart. But as they meet up again, they are both in retrograde motion this time. This once again creates some positive conditions for financial matters on the home. And that's Virgo. That's your sign. The 6th house is Virgo. Home, health, family, family cleaning, family and or property fronts, but especially where you're going back to something. So they want you, like I just got finished saying, they want you to take a mature, and that's what Saturn does. Saturn ain't about all the BS. You know, like me and Saturn, because Saturn is really very significant in my chart too. Saturn is no nonsense. They're not with the BS. They're not with. So they're telling you, they're telling you exactly what I just said. You have to have a little maturity, calm down, because the Lilith is making you go, oh, I'm a victim. Oh, this has always happened to me. Oh, these have always, and that's true. I'm not disagreeing with you, because I could say the same thing. I already know, especially people that are sent, they go through hell when they come to this planet. But the bottom line is you still got to take control of your actions, your feelings, and you can't keep playing the victim role and oh I'm abused, because you women love to do that one. You'll piss somebody off, and all they got to do is get a little loud, and you want to jump on the horn. Oh, he's yelling at me. Oh, come lock him up. So even the charts are saying, and not Gary, the chart said it. You got to stop the pity party. You got to stop looking backwards. You got to start taking control of your life. And if you don't have that yet, you don't need to be in a house with somebody or in a location with somebody who's getting physical, because he could take your life or really hurt you. Now, this is Lynn Coiner. Let me see. Let me just see a little bit more with Michelle Knight. Now, I'll send you a sheet, probably, maybe one, maybe two, I don't know. But these links will be on the sheet that I'm looking at. And you can look the information up again. See, it says this week you're going to be drawn to temptation, and we just got finished talking about that. If you call yourself listen, grow up. If you're in a situation with somebody, you're not happy, and you want to have sex with somebody else and want to hang out, try to do the mature thing. Because here's the deal, you're not going to win. Say you do the mature thing and you tell a person and they try to kill you. So if you tell them, you better tell them where you're safe. But let's say you don't tell them, you go secret like this is saying, and they find out about it. They're still going to kill you, but they're going to be even madder because you were secretive. So this is the week ahead for Virgo. You have an element of wild one in you, and you are drawn into temptation, and we've already learned that. Secrets excite you, and you want to escape into a private world with your chosen few. This is a week of change, coming into your power. But she says you are coming into your power, and I just told you how to do it. So they're talking about some type of love getting wild and mysterious. Embrace your shadow side. I wouldn't advise that, because you're dealing with a psycho. If he's physical, he will take your life if he finds out you're cheating. So I would not advise you following any secret, because I told you guys that a while ago about Pisces and Virgo and all that stuff. Virgo and Pisces and all the secret love and all that. You better be very, very careful. So she gives you a whole lot of information. Again, I will put this in the sheet I'm going to send you. You can read all of that. All right, now we're leaving Michelle, and now we're going to Lynn Coiner for Virgo. Give me a second. Wow, she does a whole... I don't know if that's her. Okay. Moon phases. Lynn ain't no joke. All right, Virgo. This is the first time I've ever been to this website with her. There will be some shocking or surprising news this month. However, the focus of April is to manifest personal will. It's time for you to come into your own, take responsibility for your actions. Through the force of your will, you can manifest whatever you desire. This is a good month for inner spiritual, that's the Pisces, and psychological searching. Inner knowledge is stressed above external things. The moon is in the sign of Virgo on April 7th to 8th, but it is very badly aspected, ending with an opposition to Venus retrograde and a square to Saturn retrograde. Anything commenced at this time will prove costly due to blocks and obstacles. So that was Lynn Coiner. I like Lynn. This is astralis.it. You can, and it says /horoscopes, and it's Lynn. So if you really want to find her, go to a Yahoo search and type in Lynn Coiner, KLYNNKOINER, and type in Astralis, ASTRALIS, and she should pop right up. All right, so we're going to put this in there too. So it will be challenging, but if you follow those feelings, like I keep warning you people to not do, you got to balance out. If you're in a relationship or in some type of relationship, and then somebody, because the same thing happened to me, because this is the universe. You guys don't understand what's happening. I understand the spiritual aspects. So I was working with my twin flame who was being a jerk, but then I had a soulmate who really wanted to go to bed. Now I could have said, hey, I'm going to get her back and get with my soulmate. but you're gonna bring all this karma your way, and this is you're trying to straighten out your karma. You're gonna bring all your karma your way, and again, if you're the other person finds out, it could get violent. So you want to try to do things maturely. So I gave you the advice to do. I did update the chart. God bless.